Good morning and welcome to PT Live. I'm your host, Monika Zielinski. In a low unemployment environment where talent is in demand, the British-Polish Chamber of Commerce prepared its HR review, which looks at the Polish labor market. Today we've invited experts who partnered up with the Chamber of Commerce to prepare this report. So first up, we have Łukasz Chodkowski, Managing Director in Poland of Dehora, and Monika Krzyszkowska-Dąbrowska, Head of Employment Practice at Linklaters. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, and to start off, I wanted to start on a lighter topic. So Monika, do you remember your very first job?
Of course, I was tutoring. I was giving private teaching to school kids. So it was challenging and very developing, I must say.
What topic?
English and French lessons.
Oh, interesting. And how about you, Łukasz?
Yeah, it was exactly 20 years ago. I started as a warehouse employee, working shifts. Then I was promoted to work on the production area at the same company. And step by step, I reached deputy director of manufacturing. And actually, that's how my, let's say, fascination on working time and what is the impact and influence of how we work started. So I'm glad that that's my
interesting. So you started from the ground up, and
right.
So you have to start somewhere, and who knows where it will lead.
Absolutely.
That's good advice. It's a good place to start actually on this topic, which is the Polish labor market, of course. So back to you, Łukasz. What does the situation look like in Poland right now? What does the report say? What do the results of the HR review look like? What can you tell us?
Yeah, so first of all, we decided to set up this report because we see that the situation is quite unique. We have historically low unemployment rate. Companies are looking for many different aspects to attract new employees and to retain the staff they have, the best one, because we know that if someone starts to look for a new job, that's at the first choice the best ones, and we don't want to lose them.
Right.
So we asked companies, do they feel if it's a problem, and what they do to stop people at their place. So the results were absolutely fantastic. We see that there are a lot of companies that are afraid that upcoming year more and more people will look for a new job, and there are a lot of activities going on trying to stop and to retain the staff they have. But what we see, not each of the activities are focused on blue collars, rather on white collars, which is very important because at the same time, the companies that are answering at our questionnaire, that they do a lot of more, not just only raising salaries, to be an attractive employer, they have less problems in recruitment and retaining current staff.
That's a good segue into what I was going to ask Monika, actually, from the legal aspect. This is a new dynamic labor market that we're dealing with, right? It's completely new from what we've been dealing with in the past. But what about the legal aspects of employment? Can you go into that a bit?
Of course. Employment law is closely linked to the employment market, to the labor market. And we need to keep up to date in order to provide accurate advice to our clients. And that's why we decided to participate in the report to see what is the current situation. Hiring and retaining employees has become a real challenge to the employers nowadays. It also influences the shape of the employment relationship. Traditionally, available statutory measures evolve, and also new contractual instruments are invented in order to respond to the needs of the labor market.
What kind of instruments? Can you talk about what is the best way, effective
Of
way?
course. Employers grant various benefits to the employees because this is the expectation of the employees. They expect that apart from a basic monthly salary, they will also profit from various benefits. Some of them became already a market practice, including medical packages or sport cards. Others gained popularity, such as retention bonuses, loyalty agreements, or recruitment endorsement premiums. Also, non-wage benefits are attractive to the employers that allow them to introduce employee-friendly work organization, such as, for example, telework, home office, or flexible working time organization.
Great. And Łukasz, last question for you. Which sectors, you mentioned blue collar, white collar, but which sectors are doing really well and which are kind of suffering right now with retaining and keeping employees?
Yeah, it's from the report it comes out that service sector is doing very well with all the flexible solutions for employees, and that's why they have less problems with recruitment. But there's a lot to be done in the manufacturing sector actually. Okay. Because when you think, for example, about work-life balance, then by implication you think that it's only reasonable for white collars, but it's not.
Well, thank you so much. In our next segment, we will be talking about work-life balance and wellness, so that's a perfect way to end. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We just spoke to some experts about the results of the HR review, and now we're going to talk to Ewa Stelmasiak, founder of the Wellness Institute, and Karina Kreja, International Concept Manager of Kinnarps, about another part of the report about wellness and concept design. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And to start off, also, I have a question for you. What do you absolutely need in your life to start your day, and what helps you focus?
Oh, well, I do have a morning routine.
Okay.
And this morning routine includes a couple of minutes of freestyle dance and yoga.
Interesting. Maybe I should try that. And you, Karina?
For me, it's yoga the same, so I can't start a day without 12 sun salutations.
Wow, okay, that's awesome. That's a really great idea. So, Ewa, please tell me about the review. We talked about, we briefly spoke about health and well-being in the previous interview, but so I was surprised actually that over a third of all companies do not provide any activities that focus and support health and well-being. What do you think about this?
Well, I think it may be due to a lack of leadership awareness about the business benefits of it. And as our report indicated, we have some indications based on correlations between investments in well-being and retention. So there are indications that these companies which invest at least in one well-being activity have fewer problems with retaining employees, and same with promoting work-life balance. Whereas lack of leadership awareness and support is being reported by the companies surveyed as a barrier to retention and something that impedes really their efforts in this matter.
Thank you. And Karina, what about the design of the workplace? How does that help companies with recruitment and staff retention?
Well, that helps a lot. We have an employee market these days, and people are coming to their potential employers as a candidate, but actually they are not to be verified. They would like to verify the environment they are going to work in. So actually seeing the office space is one of the best, the strongest indicators of their potential future with that company. So the companies are putting more and more effort into, well, alluring potential candidates into their premises, and believe me, they do a lot. We even design walking through paths for a new candidate. Actually, those first 5 minutes, as always, the first impression counts the most, and you can learn by seeing the office. You can learn much more than through thousands of hours of interviews.
Absolutely. And Ewa, what about, you mentioned some awareness. So what can companies do to try to help and solve this issue? What are some tools?
Well, the tools that we identified in the report indicate that most companies still have a benefit and event approach to well-being.
That was one of the most
that cannot
common.
be right. Yeah. So we really need to make a shift in our thinking about well-being, and this shift needs to be based on thinking of shaping the work environment through relationships, well leadership, and creating a well culture, where people can really realize and themselves, but also make it happen that their well-being objectives are realistic to achieve through that support from culture and from peer support, through peer support and from managers.
Wonderful. And Karina, last question for you. So what is this new role of the office? It's no longer the traditional type. So what does this mean and what companies should take into consideration?
We are definitely living through a cultural shift, and it is not work-life balance, this is work-life blending. So we see more and more of remote work being as important part as ever of a daily work life. So basically you are nowadays designing offices that are not made for 7 to 5, 5 days a week. We are making offices that are hubs for employees who are remote to meet in that space. That really impacts the entire design, that turns actually some things upside down. We make it totally different, we make it more like edu spaces for education, for knowledge exchange, for information exchange. This is a new trend that is just emerging.
Wonderful, and I look forward to seeing what happens with that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your insights. It's been great.
A pleasure.
Thank
you.
Thanks.